إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهدي الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Holy Quran, يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهم رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. The best speech is the speech of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it's His guidance and nobody else's. And it's the example of our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Today, as everybody knows, it's plastered on every single calendar. The schools know about it, the businesses, corporations. It's Good Friday. Well, we say Happy Jumu'ah. We get Good Friday every week, so we shouldn't look at this as any other day. It has no significance to us. It's just a day for us to benefit from, that people have off and they can come to Jumu'ah. And every single Friday, Jumu'ah is like a mini Eid, a celebration, a day to enjoy ourselves in. So let's make every Friday a Good Friday, not limit it to one day out of the calendar year. May Allah accept from all of our efforts. Ameen. Over 1400 years ago, Allah blessed us with the mercy to mankind, which was our Prophet, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. When you hear his name, the least we can do is offer our salutations to him. Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam will be the only person that will be vouching for us on the Day of Judgment, as he made in his dua. So the cheaper we are when we hear his name and we don't respond, the cheaper we will get on the Day of Judgment. So when we hear his name, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, let's follow that example. The example that's going to get us closer and keep us away as far as possible from the punishment and the torment of Jahannam, the hellfire. May Allah protect us from that. Ameen. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam taught us throughout his whole life. He was the best example of mankind. Even a non-Muslim by the name of Michael Hart wrote a full article or a report and recognized Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam as the greatest and the most influential person of all mankind. And there was a lot of people on that list of 100 people, but number one person was our Muhammad, our Prophet, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And there was other prophets in there, Sayyidina Musa, Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam, Gandhi, and all the other people that you hear nowadays. We know we didn't need that book to understand that, because alhamdulillah blessed us with the examples in the hadith and the sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That brings me to my khutbah today. The Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he taught us about how to carry ourselves on a daily basis. And this is a reminder for myself first before anybody else. There's 8 categories that we will be speaking about with respect to the time, inshallah. The Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us to respect 3 types of people. Who are those 3 people? Well, the first is our parents. In the Quran, Surah Isra, ayah number 23, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, your Lord has ordered you to worship none except Him, and be good to your parents. If either of them attain old age with you, do not say, on you. Nor rebuke them, but speak to them with words of respect. A lot of us overlook this. I mean, I was born and raised here in New Jersey, in the United States. I know it's hard, not just to be raised, but also to raise children. And the most important thing to any parent is for their children to be in good standing and to be respectful and dutiful to them. And that's why your ticket to Jannah might be through your parents. So remember that. The second of the three people are our teachers, which we overlook a lot of the time. See, I went to public school my whole life. And most of my professors and teachers and instructors were all non-Muslim. That doesn't give me a reason to disrespect them. Same thing with our work. Same thing with who we deal with on a daily basis. The municipalities, the court systems, the businesses, the like. Majority of the people you deal with, whether you realize it or not, are non-Muslim. Some of them are teaching us a lot. So be dutiful to the teachers. A good Muslim will also show respect, irrespective of the age of the teacher as well. The fourth rightly guided Khalif, Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu, said, anyone who has taught me a word has made me their slave. Subhanallah. Rasul Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is reported to have said, indeed, I have been sent as a teacher. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam also said in the hadith sahih, verily Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His angels and everyone in the heavens and the earth, even the ant in its hole, subhanallah, even the fish in the sea, will praise the one who teaches the people what is good. Subhanallah. The animals also have teachers. The ants have teachers and they respect them. So who are we to disrespect them? The third category, the elderly, which is probably the top thing that we overlook and take for granted. Our community, we all know, there's no surprise, is getting old. The founders of this masjid, they're getting old, because that was over 30 years ago. So you could just imagine the elderly in this community. We're going to be elderly one day. So the same way you treat somebody, same way you will be treated. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, he is not from us, the one who does not respect the elderly and does not have mercy on the young. It goes both ways. The same way you treat the elderly, the same way the elderly will treat you, or vice versa. Wallahu a'lam. Look after the elderly, our grandparents, our uncles, our aunts, our friends, our peers, our colleagues. Respect them. Who are we to disrespect them? The second category is have three things in you. The first is honesty. Surah Tawbah, ayah number 119, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, O you who believe, be careful of your duty to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and be with the true ones. It's clear. When I was growing up, I can share a lot of similarities because I grew up in this country and I know a lot, that I went through a lot, tough and easy times. When my parents told me, don't be friends with that person, and I didn't listen to them, I found out later that they were right. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to figure it out. The person that's not going to get you close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, stay away from them, regardless of their situation. The second of the three things, faith, iman. Central to Islamic beliefs are the 5 pillars of faith, which all followers of Islam should obtain. Iman. Have that inside you. If you don't have it, it's not something you can go purchase. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help. And I'm sure we all have a level of that. And iman is something that goes up and down. And the third is good deeds. Narrated by Abu Dhar, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, do not disdain any good deed, even if you're meeting your brother with a cheerful face. Reported by Muslim. Even if you attend or meet your brother, meaning it could be anybody, or your sister, of course, smile on their face. That in itself is a good deed. We always see it around, even a smile is charity. The third category, free yourself from 3 things. The first, cheating. We're in school, guys, cheating, right? The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, who cheats, then he is not from us. And you could cheat anywhere. Work, driving, school, you name it. We're not perfect. If you did it, stop it. If you never did it, say alhamdulillah. The second of the 3, arrogance. Arrogance. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, he does not enter paradise, the one who has the weight of an atom of arrogance in his heart. We know that Iblis was in the heavens. Because of his arrogance, we know where he is. And he's going to take anybody else that's willing to drive that same direction as he did, because of arrogance. And the third of those 3, the freeing yourself from, is debt. Whoever dies free from 3 things, arrogance, cheating, and debt, the hadith says, will enter paradise. It's not a complicated formula. We don't have to be scientists. We don't have to have a degree to understand this. It's clear. These are basic principles in life that we overlook many of the times, and it's for all ages. The 4th category is have control of 3 things. The first is what I'm using, my tongue. Reported in Al-Bukhari, Muslim, narrated from Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, may Allah be pleased with him, that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, whoever believes in Allah on the last day, let him speak good or else keep silence. That's it. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ also said, whoever guarantees me chastity of what is between the legs, which is, example, our private parts, and what is between his jaws, his tongue, I guarantee him paradise. On a daily basis, those 2 can affect us. The second of the 3 things to control is our anger. Anger is a very, very powerful emotion. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because the beauty, every single item, there's a hadith with it. There's an answer to it. Islam has every single answer in the book, whether you thought of it or not. That's why Islam is complete. And if you have any questions, ask. And if you don't have the answer, find it. Anger is a powerful emotion. It inspires action. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if any of you becomes angry and he is standing, let him sit down. So his anger will go away. SubhanAllah. And it continues. And if it does not go away, let him lie down. And the third of the 3 things to control is the nafs, the soul. Surah Yusuf, ayah number 53, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and I do not equip myself. Indeed, the soul is persistent enjoyer of evil, except those which my Lord has mercy. Indeed, my Lord is forgiving and merciful. May Allah forgive us and have mercy on us. Ameen. The 3 things to save yourself from the 5th category. Save yourself from. The first is lying. In Surah Al-Mutaffifin, in ayahs number 10 and 11, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, woe on that day to the rejectors. In the continuation of the next ayah, who give the lie to the day of judgment? The second of the three things to save yourself from is backbiting. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, neither backbite one another. Would one of you like to eat the flesh of his dead brother? You would hate it. So hate backbiting. And fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Verily, Allah is the one who forgives and accepts repentance. And the most merciful. Surah 49, ayah number 12. And if we do it, ask Allah for forgiveness. And ask Him to help you stop this bad habit. That will only lead you to something bad. And the third of the three to save yourself from is jealousy. Be jealous of someone who is a role model, not somebody who's going to send you astray or away from Islam. I went to college, I saw it in front of my own eyes. I had the choice to either go this way or to go this way. Alhamdulillah, from the guidance and the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I hope He guided me in the right way. It's scary out there, and it's not getting any easier. The people that are preaching the wrong things, stay away from them. Simple. Allah also gave us common sense to use it. You don't need an answer for common sense. The three things to obtain from. Obtain three things. The first is manners. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, indeed, the believer reaches with his good manners the level of the one who fasts in the day and prays in the night. SubhanAllah. Just manners. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ also said, I was sent to teach you the best of manners. You have the answers to the manners. It's written for you, it's a manual. Don't cheat yourself. If you have bad manners, shame on you. Don't blame anybody else for it. Because the day of judgment, you will be asked about it. And the parents will be shying away from their children, and the children will be shying away from the parents on the day of judgment. They don't know each other. You're not going to blame your mom or your dad for it. Blame yourself. The second obtain of two things is piety. On the authority of Abu Dhar, Jundub ibn Janaza, and Abu Abdurrahman Mu'adh bin Jabal, may Allah be pleased with them, that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, be conscious of Allah wherever you are. Follow the bad deed with a good one to erase it, and engage others with beautiful character. This, and the last of the three things to obtain is knowledge, ilm. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, seeking knowledge is incumbent upon every Muslim, male or female. It's not restricted to one or the other. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر لي ولكم. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wassalamu ala Rasulullah. So out of our 8 points that we're making in the golden words of the Prophet in terms of the daily life that we're living, I'll finish off with the last 2. Keeping 3 things pure. Keeping 3 things pure. The first is your body. There's no other faith that teaches us the importance of cleanliness. Wudu. Wudu by itself, listen to the hadith of the Prophet Muhammad states that the person who performs wudu correctly, subhanAllah, all his and her sins will be wiped from their entire body, even from underneath their nails. So imagine if your wudu is not good, how do you accept your salah to be good? It's not complicated. Take care of your wudu. Take care of your body. If the person jumped into the ocean and the pool 5 times a day, I'm sure their body would be clean. Opposed to being in the sewage, in the dump all day. Yes, their body would be filled with filth. That's why we go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala 5 times a day, minimum, to perform our salah in front of Him and nobody else. The second of the 2 things to keep pure is your clothing. He speaks about your clothing in the Quran. In Surah number 75, in ayah 1 through 4, in Surah Mudaththir, O you who are clothed, arise and mourn, and magnify your Lord, and purify your garments, and leave any uncleanliness. And the third, your thoughts. Actually, I'm going to hold off on the thoughts, and we'll wrap up with the thoughts. Remembering 3 things, the last item. The first is death. Just driving here to the masjid today, whether it's an email or text message, we realize there's a Janaza. Somebody you know, somebody you don't know. Death is close, it's near. Don't take it lightly and be prepared for death. How? By following the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the example of the Nabi, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I remember when I went to Hajj a few months ago, or last year, after every single salah, and you know if you perform Umrah or Hajj, there is a Janaza after every single salah. And it's not usually one person, it's usually many people. I follow the coffins myself, the boxes. We even carried them, bringing them right in front in the area where they pray Janaza on. SubhanAllah. That's a reminder in itself. And the reward that's offered to the people that perform the Janaza is immense. You get the reward of the mountain, the size of it is like the Jabal Uhud. If you perform the Janaza and if you follow it, you get double the reward. So take advantage when you hear a Janaza. It's the right upon the Muslim. If you're a brother or sister, whether they're yours or not, if you claim they are or you're not, follow the Janaza. Because the day of your Janaza, you want people to follow you too. Or it'll be empty. The same way you treated people, the same way it will be treated for you. And at that time, you can't ask anybody to join you. And the second will be a favor. The favor to remember the favor that Allah has bestowed upon us. That we have Islam, we have everything good that's offered to us. It's our choice to whether choose we want it or we don't. See, we have a difference between us, the humans, and the animals. They have free will, we have free will, they don't have free will. We have to make a choice in life, they don't. They have to be obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We could be disobedient or obedient. That's why Allah called us the best of His creation. Because we can go, sin, and do whatever, and come back and repent it. And if you do that, that's okay. It's not the end of the world. Just make sure you do it before it's the end of the world. And the third of the 3 things to remember is the advice on the authority of Abu Ruqayya, which reported that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Ad-Din nasiha." The Deen, the faith, is nasiha, advice and sincerity. We said to whom? Allah. He said to Allah in His book, and His messenger, and to the leaders of the Muslims and their common folk, reported by Muslim. Simple advice. If you can't give advice, then you're definitely not going to get it. And if somebody's giving you advice, be open. They're going to maybe help, maybe they might know more than you. That's okay. And I want to close off with, going back to the 3 things to keep pure, is our thoughts. Abu Khabsha reported during the time of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he has reported to have said, "I will narrate a saying to you, so preserve it." Open up your ears and your hearts and your minds right now. Verily, the world is only 4 kinds of people. There is one whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has granted wealth and knowledge. So he fears his Lord regarding them, upholds his family ties, and acknowledges the rights of Allah over him. He will be in the best position. That's number 1. Number 2, there is one whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has granted knowledge without wealth. And he has a sincere intention. It says, if I had wealth, I would have acted like this person. SubhanAllah. How many of us say that? SubhanAllah. If that is his intention, then he will have the same reward as the other. Look how Allah works. He just wants to give you a reward. It's just endless, His bounty. Then there is one whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has granted wealth without knowledge. And he squanders his wealth in ignorance. He does not fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala regarding it. He does not fulfill his obligations to his family, and he does not acknowledge the rights of Allah over him. He will be in the worst position. But there's one more. There is one whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has granted neither wealth nor knowledge. And he says, if I had wealth, I would have acted like this person. If that is his intention, then he will have the same sin as the other. Reported by At-Tirmidhi. Allah has His mercy waiting for us. And we have the manual to do it. To follow it, the acts and the actions and the requirements and the easiness, the lifestyle. It's in the book, which is the Quran. And it's in the Sunnah, in the Seerah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us amongst the people which will be entered in Jannah. Ameen. If you guys don't want Jannah, then I don't know what to tell you. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us the highest Jannah, al-Firdaus al-A'la. Ameen. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it easy on us, to stay away from what is forbidden and keep us close to what is permissible. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it easy on all of our brothers and sisters all over the world. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it easy on us to become a good mu'min, become a mu'min. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep us away from anything that's going to harm us. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to look after our children. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to look after our parents and our elderly. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us from anything evil. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless this community and all the other Muslim communities around the whole world. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر لي ولكم وأقم الصلاة.